Hey everybody, Mark, Dr. Deadwax. Time for day 36 of the Inbox Challenge, week 6. Today's numbers were picked by SupraWes, Wes, and Wes picked 4 numbers, and I'm going to do all 4 records. But out of respect to the master, there will be no Dr. Deadwax's bullshit beer reviews today. Okay, just going to go straight to the records. So, the first record is Slow Train Comin' by Bob Dylan. This came out in 1979, and it's on the standard red label, Columbia label. Canadian pressing, 2.8Z in the Deadwax. Nothing to say about that at all. So I never knew anything about this record, but I got this for free in a box of records, and it's just in like total mint condition. I knew it had, the critics kind of didn't like it, but anyway, I don't look things up before I listen to a record for the first time. I just like to listen to the music, let it flow over me, and then I like to go out and do research and find out more about it. I don't even read the covers and stuff when I'm listening to it. I wait till it's over. And when I was listening to this, I was like, this isn't a totally terrible record. Like, I've heard that people don't like it, but I don't quite understand why they don't like it. And subsequently, and the other thing I noticed when I was listening to it, I was like, man, whoever the hell's playing guitar on this record really sounds like Mark Knopfler. And when I looked it up, Mark Knopfler plays guitar on this record, which I never thought he would have done. And it turns out he produced Infidels later on, so he had a bit of a relationship there with Dylan for a while. But this is the first in his Christian trilogy. This was the first record after he was converted to Christianity and became a born-again Christian. And I think a lot of people hate it for that reason, and I think they hate it because I think the next 2 Christian records were even worse. This is pretty good. I mean, it's not a masterpiece, but it's not a total dog. Gotta Serve Somebody, Precious Angel, Man Gave Names to All the Animals. I don't know. I kind of liked it. You know, I'll listen to it again. Kind of like Gotta Serve Somebody. I have a thing for songs about waitstaff. Jane Siberry has a song called Waitress on, I think it's on No Borders Here. It might have been on her next record. So that always has had me interested in songs. And this one, you know, you got to serve somebody. It may be the devil, it may be the Lord, but you got to serve somebody. And any song about, you know, waiting tables, that underappreciated element of society that brings us our food and beverages, you have to love them. So not a bad record. Next up is FM City of Fear. So Nash the Slash has left FM by now and gone out on his own. And they've brought in Ben Mink, who I talked about recently. I've talked about him a long time ago, but I talked about him recently, Ben Mink, because he, when Nash came back to FM, Ben Mink went ahead and joined Cano. So this is it's not a bad FM record. They're going a little bit pop by now. And they're trying to have hits. This is on the Canadian Passport label, 1980. I think Ben Mink went to Cano in 84, I believe. Master Disc RL in the Deadwax, so these are New York plates that are shipped up to Canada for the record to be pressed. Record sounds excellent. And some of the songs have really good, still, let's call them like prog pop feel to them. And they're actually kind of good. And a couple of them are kind of weak. But overall, this is a pretty good record. If you like electronic pop music, then with a bit of a prog feel, I'd recommend this record to you. If you're looking for prog, black noise, and direct-to-disc, those are the 2 you need. This is bordering into completionist territory. although it's not as doggy as some of the ones that came later. But I could recommend that. Next is this is a great record. Bill Bruford. Bruford feels good to me. I believe this is his band called Bruford, as opposed to it being Bill Burford. And this has some awesome players. Dave Stewart, who was, I think, in the Canterbury bands. Alan Holdsworth, who's had played with him in UK, or subsequently they both played in UK. I think the chronology might be they went to UK after this. Annette Peacock on vocals. This is where the album doesn't work. I find when Annette Peacock shows up, especially on the first side, it doesn't work as well for me. On the second side, the one song that she's on there works for me a bit better. But maybe that's because she hasn't been on a couple songs and I've had a bit of a break from her. Jeff Berlin on bass. Kenny Wheeler, ECM, flugelhorn player. He's got tons of great albums. John Goodall plays guitar on one song. So, oh, I totally forgot to mention. This was produced by Larry Fast of Synergy. So there's another bit of a prog tie into it. This is on Canadian Polydor. This has SNB-BK in the Deadwax. Now, we've talked about SNB, Sabine Nelson Burnett, the fellow who cut Deadwax for a while for his own company, and then other people were cutting it. BK is a signature after the SNB-BK, and I don't know who BK is. There's a BK who cut plates for Masterdisc, Bill Kipper. I have no information if he ever cut discs for SNB, so I don't want to say that it's Bill Kipper, but it may be. Look, I got the digger's hangnail right here. You know, from going to record stores and putting your hand in and out all day to pull records out to check them. I'm suffering bad, people. This is a great progressive jazz fusion record. And even with the parts with Annette Peacock that don't really work for me, this is still a fantastic record. It sounds great, and the music is just top quality. I can't say enough about it. And I cannot read this. I'm getting old. Next is Brian Eno, Ambient 4 on Land. This is Edition ZG. We all know my love affair with records on Edition ZG. This is actually a good sounding one. It's a little crackly in places, but it doesn't have any surface wear on it, so it doesn't actually have any ticks. So this is a great record. And when I was done listening to it, I read up on it, and people say that this is dark ambient and a precursor to the dark ambient music genre or something. Maybe I'm missing the point of what dark ambient is. I found this record not dark. I thought this record was just great, and I found it very uplifting. This is fucking incredible. This is a really good record made up of kind of found sounds almost, as opposed to electronic noodling that a lot of the other ambient stuff has. On the back here is instructions on how to set up your stereo system like Brian Eno, where he runs a third speaker off the positive terminals on both sides. I would say that my technician would not recommend that I do that unless his kids needed braces. So Ambient 4, this is awesome. I highly recommend it. And that has SNB in the Deadwax and AS, which is the signature. I haven't been able to figure out who AS is from the SNB. So those are today's records that Wes pulled the numbers for, and I'd say it's a pretty good day, Wes. So thanks for picking the numbers, and thanks for playing along. Highly recommend this to anybody and everybody. well, maybe not. Maybe you don't like ambient music. Maybe you don't like electronic stuff. Then no. But if you'd like Eno at all, this is a really good one. This is great. City of Fear, bordering on completionist, like I said, but maybe you might want to check it out. And this is okay. It's got lots of religious symbolism on it. Looks like there's a cross there. And the telephone pole is a cross. There's crosses everywhere. So that's it. Day 36 over. Week 6 begun. Have a great day, everybody. Get the records back.